Hey, top of the morning. I couldn't wait to get today started. I already finished my miracle morning routine, did my 5K run. I got a lot more to do. It's gonna be an exciting day. So today I'm grateful for the morning hugs our son and daughter give us every morning. And now it's time to proceed as if success is inevitable and live on purpose with passion. Hey, as you go about your day today, if you're going to grow, you have to be intentional about it, and you have to have a detailed plan for growth. I just got word that local police have issued a renewed warning on what is known as the PECO scam. They have noticed a large increase in reports on the scam. So this is how the scam works. A PECO customer gets a call falsely claiming that their gas or electric will be shut off if they don't make a payment. The scammers tell the customers to purchase a prepaid credit card and then call them back at a different number. Now sometimes the scammers manipulate the caller ID so that it looks like you're getting a call from PECO itself. Now this scam could also happen in person, so you have to be careful who comes to your door and asks for a payment from PECO. Now PECO representatives have said that they will never have anyone call you asking for cash or for you to buy a prepaid credit card in order to pay your bill. PECO has also said that if you have any questions about your account, or if you're wondering about somebody who's calling you regarding paying your bill or knocking on your door asking about paying your bill, you can call their customer service line. And that phone number is 1-800-494-4000. So make sure you call that number. Again, it's 1-800-494-4000. If you have any concerns about making a payment to anyone over the phone or in person that says they're a PECO representative, so you don't get scammed. You know, a buyer in hand is usually worth two in the bush. So in this highly competitive seller's market, some sellers feel that they always have the upper hand. And they would be right when it comes to choosing which offer to accept, which closing date to accept, and which repairs they want to make prior to closing. But one thing a seller should remember is that there is always a fine line that shouldn't be crossed. You know, interest rates may change, inspections may discover some problems, or the appraisal may not come in at the sale price. And these are all opportunities that you should work with your buyer to make sure the sale still happens. You know, you may feel that because it's a seller's market with a high demand from buyers for a home like yours, that you can make any buyer go through hoops. But what happens if you cross that line and the buyer loses their patience and walks away? Now you're starting over again, weeks, maybe months later, and you know, any new buyers that comes in is going to wonder what went wrong because the deal fell through before. I recently had a buyer who purchased a house from me, and during the inspections, it was discovered that the roof needed to be replaced. So the buyer asked the seller for credit to replace the roof in the future after they purchased the house. Now the seller, upon hearing about the credit, refused to do anything. They claimed that they had a backup offer on the house and they didn't want to do any credits at all. So, you know, the buyer walked away, and a couple weeks later, the seller was willing to do a little bit of money, and the buyer still said no. In the meantime, the buyer was still looking for another house. About a month or so later, the seller came back and offered a little bit better of a deal as a credit, but by that time, the buyer still had not found a house, but they thought that maybe they paid too much for the house the first time around, since no one else had purchased a house. So eventually, my buyer found another house and has now made closing on the house. In the meantime, that seller, the first house that they put an offer in, still has not sold their house. And you know, the longer the house sits on the market, the more a buyer's going to think something's wrong with it. So you really have to be careful. There's a good chance that the seller had just negotiated some kind of number, maybe in between or something, to keep the negotiation going. There's a good chance that their house would have been sold and settled and they would have moved on with their life. Now they're sitting there still on the market months later after they refused to negotiate at all with the buyer. So, you know, think about that when, you know, buyer asks for repairs or credits. Be careful letting them go just because you think the market's in good shape. So tonight our kids' dive team had their annual picnic and fun awards. Now our son got the Having the Most Energy Award, and our daughter received for the second year in a row Most Likely to Disappear for Food Award. So it was a fun night for both of them. And now as I wrap up this evening, I want to leave you with this thought. An attitude of confident expectations seems to go hand in hand with great success in every area of your life. Now have a great rest of your evening and play big in everything you do.